Hey guys, Kerbal here, and today I'm going to be making a tutorial video because somebody requested via my Twitter account that I explain how I make my rocket cars, my missile firing cars, and since that would be incredibly hard to explain via text or whatever, and I don't have anything else to record today, I'm just going to make a tutorial video because that would be a lot more fun. And so when you come here to the spaceplane hangar, it's going to ask you to select which command module that you want. And really, you can start with anything you want. It's going to determine how you build the rest of your rocket truck, but you can choose anything that you want and make it however you want. You can either follow this tutorial exactly, or you can try to change some things and adapt it to your own design, or you can, if you're not really good at building things at all, I'm going to have this probably up as a craft file that you can download from someplace and just play with this one that we make here in the tutorial. So I'm going to start with the Mark I cockpit. I think that that'll be a pretty good thing to start with, and I don't really have a plan, so we're just going to roll with it. But I think the first thing that I want is some structural fuselages coming off the back. Actually, probably just one. And we're going to want something to make this a little bit wider, just to, I don't know, make it look right. And so maybe some wing connectors. Let's go ahead and go with two structural fuselages. We're using the structural ones because these don't contain any fuel, so they're not going to be adding to our weight. They're just to, you know, be structural. They're there to function, but not hold any fuel. By the way, whenever you're doing something that is going to go on both sides, of course, you want to turn on your symmetry, which you can do with this button here, or you can just hit the X key. And I like to keep angle snap turned on most of the time. There are some cases where we don't want to use angle snap, but there are a lot of cases where we do. And so you can either click that button or hit the C key to turn that on. And we're just going to place a couple of structural wings on the side there. Now, I think the next thing is I'm going to go ahead and start assembling the missile launching platform, which is going to come off the back of here, and we're going to hit the D key to rotate it. Oops. We're going to place those pretty close together. In fact, as close as we can get them. There we go. Without them overlapping. The game handles overlapping parts pretty well, so if they do overlap a little bit, you don't have to worry about it too much. Anyway, we're going to hold the Alt key to copy these parts, and we're going to try to set it up so we have another one off the back here. In some cases, even once you get it dead center, you need to rotate it again. So we're going to hit D. Or are we? Because that didn't seem like it was lined up exactly right. Sorry, this part can be a little bit of a pain to get them exactly right. I'm not sure exactly what the secret is. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and make a nice big platform here, and then we're going to copy these one more time. And for this we can actually kind of go up to the top of the back here instead of directly on the back, and that makes things a little bit easier. And we can hit the A or D to rotate it, and then we're going to want to figure out, in this case, which key, sometimes it differs, which key on the keyboard is going to, come on, I'm having a little bit of trouble. If you zoom in a little bit, you can get a little bit more fine-tuned controls over this kind of stuff. Come on, line up. Seriously. There we go. Sometimes it differs depending on the angles that you've placed other things and stuff. It's kind of confusing, but you want to figure out which key on your keyboard. It's going to be either Q, E, A, D, or W, S that's going to turn this thing the way we want to turn it. We want it to... Man, this is really frustrating. Stay. Dead center. There we go. Okay. In this case, yeah, it's going to be the S key. We want to hold Shift and press S, or no, it's going to be the W key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times or so to get this angled back the way we want it angled. Okay? That might be the S key for you, it might be the W key for you, it might be the Q and E key for you. It all depends on how you've placed other items when you were building, you just kind of have to experiment. And if you do something wrong, like if you hit the W key and it goes the wrong way, just hit the S key and it'll go back, or hit the W key 3 more times and it'll go back to the way it was. And then try a different key. And just experiment with it until you get it right. Anyway, we're going to want something to hold on to all of that, and so we're going to take a couple I-beams back here and just attach them to the back of that, and then we can get some strut connectors and just attach some struts to make sure that it doesn't wobble around too much. If your struts don't appear when you create them, then it's probably because it's trying to go through something and it's not able to go through objects, and so you just want to mess around with it until it appears correctly. Really, there's not much more to it than that. Some of the parts are still just kind of finicky like that, and I don't know if that's something that can be fixed or something that's just going to be a fact of the game and something you have to keep in mind when you're building. But anyway, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make the things that are going to hold the missiles, and this is another thing where, infuriatingly, you have to get it lined up exactly in the center, and you're going to want to hold the shift key, and in my case it's going to be W for some reason to bring this thing back towards us. We're going to hit the W key several times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, usually the same number of times that you hit it to angle this back, just so that they're parallel with each other. And we're going to want some decouplers on the backs of these things. That's going to hold our missiles and launch them when we're ready. Now, in this case, we're going to use dumbfire missiles that are just going to be solid rocket boosters back here, because if we were going to make liquid fuel rockets that were guided and stuff like I have in the past, you actually kind of need to start with the missile and then build the truck onto it in order to make sure that you're actually piloting the missile when it detaches from the truck. And we're not going to do anything that complicated right now. Now, if you want it to look cool, you can take some nose cones and put those on the end. I don't think those really do anything for the aerodynamics at this point, because I think that doesn't quite work right. But we do want a couple tail fins on the back, or one on the back of each one, just to keep them going straight, because without these they will off into different directions and stuff, and that's not very fun. Another thing that we want to make sure that we do is not forget solar panels and batteries, because without those, this thing will stop moving in about 2 seconds, and if you don't remember that you need solar panels, you won't be able to figure out why it did that, and it's very frustrating. And then when you do realize it, you'll feel like you've derped really hard. It's just it's infuriating to forget about the solar panels and wonder why your car keeps breaking. But anyway, put some solar panels there. I'm going to put some batteries, if I can get them lined up the right way. There we go. Back here, and for some reason that screwed with the orientation of them. There we go. And a third set right there. And of course we're going to want some wheels, and so we're going to place some wheels here. These are actually going to start off facing the wrong way. You want to hit the A or the D key to turn them around until they're pointed down, like they swoop down like this. And in this case I think we're going to want 3 sets. Is that lined up right? Alt-click to copy them, and that keeps the orientation so you don't have to keep on flipping them around every time you grab one from over here. And as far as I can tell, one more thing that we want to do, because a lot of pressure does get put on these back panels, these backboards here. We want to run a strut from like there to there or so, just to keep that from breaking off as soon as we fire the missiles. And if you want to be able to prop it up a little bit on the front, like some of my cars have done in the past, you want to go into Utility, and I like to grab this landing strut right here, the LT-2, and you'd want to put it someplace like right here and turn it. You want it actually facing up like this, because it's going to come down and then extend. It's going to bend forward like this and down, and then extend out this way. and so you want them pointed up. And let's see, does everything look to be in order? As far as I can tell, everything's just fine here. Oh, I almost forgot, we need action groups, because simply having these decouple and fire at the same time over here, you know, you could arrange that like that, and that's just not going to work. For some reason, these will either fire or decouple, but not both. Usually they just decouple and they fall. So we're going to go, you know, they just fall instead of fire. So we're going to go into the action groups, and we're going to go to any of these custom ones over here. I'm going to go to custom 01. That's going to be the number 1 key on your keyboard, the one above the Q key. I don't think the ones on the numpad work. Maybe they do if you have numlock on. I don't know. I haven't tried them. But this is going to be the number 1 key on your keyboard above the Q. And what we're going to want to do is click on the decoupler here. And that's actually going to select both of them because they're in symmetry. And you want to tell it to decouple. And then you want to click on your solid rocket booster, and you want to tell it to activate engine. And once again, that's going to select both of them because they are in symmetry. Now we just need to name this craft. I'm going to call it the Karlsruhe Fan Launcher, Fan Rocket Launcher, because we don't want to actually launch our fans. That'd be bad. Mark 1. And save, and launch. And once we're out here on the runway, the first thing, oh, I did forget one thing. Let's go back really quick to the spaceplane hangar. These will wobble terribly. These rockets back here will wobble like crazy if we don't support them in some way. And so let's just get a couple more support struts and do that. Okay, and that... oh, symmetry was turned off. When you're grabbing struts, be really, really careful that only the strut is glowing, otherwise you're going to end up picking up more than the strut. You'll end up clicking on the wrong thing by accident. If you do that, and I'll show you an example really quick in just a second here. I want to just go ahead and place one more strut right there, and that should hold that rather stable. If you are trying to grab a strut and you accidentally grab the wrong thing, like you're trying to click this and you accidentally click right there and you grab this whole thing and you say, crap, what do I do now? I can't attach that exactly the way it was before. It'd be a pain in the butt. Just set it aside, hit Control-Z, and everything will reappear as normal. Okay? And then we just want to throw this thing away. We're going to hit save again since we have our struts on there and everything. Let's check our action groups just to make sure that that didn't screw with anything. Okay. Save and launch. And when you've built something like this, the first thing that you're going to want to do is check the resources and make sure that when you drive this thing, the electric charge doesn't go down. And that the batteries are holding their charge and everything. And you're also going to want to test to see if it can go over some basic rough terrain. And I just noticed that we probably want to go ahead and support in here because that kind of bowed down when we went off of the runway and now it looks kind of broken. But we'll fix that in a minute. Let's go ahead and fire this thing. So we're going to reverse and maybe apply the brakes a little bit to slow down. Click this to engage the parking brake. Hit the number 1 key on the keyboard and watch the rockets fly. Okay, so that worked. It broke our back wheels though. The other thing that we might want to do that I just remembered because I wasn't even thinking is have the number 2 action group set to toggle legs. That'll toggle both of these legs. You want to click the leg, click toggle legs to add it to the group activities section, and that will make sure that that works. And then since I mentioned it a second ago, I'm going to go ahead and take some strut connectors and just see if Yeah, that looks like it's attaching. Put one on the back here too. And I just don't really... There we go. Let's try that. That's a little bit better. And that. And let's just give this thing one more test run just to see if we've improved things. Okay, so the back part doesn't look like it's breaking anymore. Let's go over the edge of the runway here to make sure it can take it. Okay, yeah, that's holding a lot more firmly now. And then the other thing that we want to test is that when we come to a stop, if we hit action group 2, that should deploy our legs. And when we hit action group 1... Whoa! Okay, so the legs weren't a good idea. But that's the whole, boom. That's the whole point of Kerbal Space Program, is trial and error, and testing your designs and seeing if they work. Hopefully not killing your Kerbals. I still have Jebediah here. He's actually been living for a long time because I haven't been doing anything too dangerous with him. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this craft file up for you guys to play with and mess with and edit and do whatever you want with. There's going to be a link to it in the description. Hopefully this tutorial helped some of you guys in some way. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it, even if it wasn't helpful to you and you just wanted to watch for the fun of it. And anyway, I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.